In the last stream chat, we did a couple of things, actually. We managed to get our first summoning altar up and running, and this thing is reusable, so thankfully we can now summon really as many mobs as we like, so long as we have all of the items required to actually summon those mobs. We also, at the very end of the last episode, set up a smeltery to allow us to make the bucket of blood is the initial reason that we made the smeltery, but it also has the side benefit of now allowing us to make the steel plates, which we're going to use to hopefully upgrade our blast furnace from the regular old blast furnace that we made in the last stream up into the improved blast furnace that can be easily automated and hopefully allow us to start getting a nice amount of steel automatically. Now, to do that, we do actually have to pull the steel out in plate form like this, and I think, chat, that what we should probably do, just to make this a little bit more efficient, is grab a hopper. Now, I'm going to make 2 hoppers because the improved blast furnace also requires a hopper, and we'll use that in just a second. For now, though, let's go ahead and grab just the one. And if we do something like this, and we put a fluid transfer node down here, that should pull the steel out into the casting basing. You can do it with the faucet here, but the faucet isn't automatic. You can make it automatic if you use like a redstone signal, but I think the fluid transfer pipe here is much easier given that we already have one lying around. And then if we were to just go ahead and stick down a hopper beneath that, like so, that should pull the finalized steel plates out, and what we should see is that right away, the transfer node here begins instantly pulling out more molten steel. That molten steel is then solidified into a steel plate, and then that steel plate is placed down into the hopper, thus making the steel plates for us. Nice. We need 27 of those steel plates. I think we did put 27 steel ingots into this hopper in the last stream, so I'm fairly certain that in like a minute or two here, we should have 27 steel ready to go. While we wait for that, let's go ahead and craft up that other hopper here, because the improved blast furnace requires a hopper on top of it in order to actually form. But at that point, chat, I think we're basically good to go on steel automation. How much iron do we have? We've got 156 iron. If I'm not mistaken, we should also have more iron ore. We do. We've got 33. Can I run that through my squeezer? I totally can, and you get a chance of getting 3 iron dust if you run it through the squeezer as opposed to the sag mill that just gives you a chance to double it. And on top of that, the squeezer is significantly faster than the sag mill as well. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there and also grab some more apples for the culinary generator at the same time. The squeezer also has the side benefit of not passively losing power either, which is also pretty huge. And there we go, 27 steel plates. Nice. So I'm fairly certain that if we just craft those up with our blast brick, that is going to get us 27 reinforced blast brick. And then much like the previous blast furnace that we made, all we should have to do over here is throw down these 27 reinforced blast brick in a 3x3 area, hopefully unencumbered by Enderman. Thank you for getting out of the way there, my friend. This time around, we do have to put a hopper down. The hopper goes directly on top on the center block, like so. And then if we grab our engineer's hammer out of this toolbox here and right-click in the middle, boom, we get a surprisingly slender blast furnace. I'm not quite sure where all of the blocks like that were here and here go, but we do get this nice little multi-block here. And so now what we should be able to do, chat, is we should be able to input both iron and charcoal through the top. We should be able to export steel from the front, and we should also be able to export slag from the back. So I think what we are probably going to do is grab this chest full of charcoal. Now, I think I should, chat, have some packing tape somewhere. I don't know if I mentioned it in a previous stream, but when I moved all of my storage drawers over to this wall here, we did have to use some packing tape to do it. You don't have to, but the packing tape makes life a lot easier. Yeah, we have some right here. It's fairly easy to make. It's 3 paper and 1 slime ball. And what the packing tape allows you to do is it allows you to kind of store all of the items in a storage drawer when you break it. Because if I was to break this right now, the charcoal that's in there would just spew all over the floor and I'd have to pick it all back up again. If you right click with the packing tape, this drawer is now unusable. But if we go ahead and we break it, it does retain all of its charcoal. And so I think you do have to pipe into the top of this. I don't think like it, even though we did put a hopper up there, I don't think that it automatically pulls charcoal down. So I think what we might want to do here, chat, is quickly grab 1 more hopper. So essentially, all we're going to do, chat, we're going to put a hopper down right about there. We're then going to put a storage drawer on top, and the storage drawer does lose its packing tape as soon as you break and replace it. And then from there, all we should have to do is run pipe up and into this, And we should be good to go. Yeah, you can see the charcoal there is filling up. We can throw the iron in. Right now, I'm not going to worry too much about pumping iron in automatically, simply due to the fact that we don't have that much iron, right? The fact that we only have like 160 iron ingots means that if we start automatically pumping our iron into the blast furnace, we are very quickly going to end up in a situation where we have just no iron left whatsoever. So I think for now, we're going to do all of the iron placing manually, but it does mean that after a certain amount of time, we should come back and we should have a full stack of steel ready to go. Now, we do have one more storage drawer here, and I think I would preferably like to get at least one more, because I want one for the steel that's going to go out the front, and then I'd also like to get one for the slag that's going to go out the back. Right now, we're not going to get too many of either of those, I don't think, but going forward, we are going to get more and more of them, so I think getting this set up sooner rather than later is going to be good for us. So essentially, steel should come out right about here. And I think steel does auto-eject, so I don't think we have to pull out of the blast furnace there. And I think the same thing is true for the slag. Yeah, the slag should auto-eject out the back as well. Nice. And we will go ahead and just for safety's sake, lock these with the old key. Boom. And boom. Is this one up here locked? It isn't. We'll lock that as well. There we go. Nice. So that, chat, should be steel pretty much automated. Of course, we do still have to put the iron in manually, but, getting 58 steel should be more than enough to see us through, hopefully, the next, stream or two. And now that that is taken care of, we can take a look at some of the upcoming quests in the advancement tree here. So I think the first thing that we're probably going to want to make is the resonator. We looked at this a little bit at the end of the last stream, and it's not too difficult to make. I will bookmark it. We need 1 magma block, 2 redstone alloy ingots, 2 electrum, which is an alloy between gold and steel, and then 3 constantan, which I believe is copper and nickel. It is, copper and nickel, and then another resonating redstone crystal. Now, one problem, chat, that we have run into since the end of the last stream is that, and one problem that I see a lot of people running into and not knowing the cause of, is as soon as you get any item that needs grid power, all of your machines from Extra Utilities 2 will stop working if you don't have enough grid power for that one item or machine. For example, right now we have a chicken wing ring, and the chicken wing ring requires 1 grid power. You'll see it says grid power 1 out of 0, which means right now the chicken wing ring is not going to work. However, machines like the mechanical user also require grid power. They don't, but they kind of do. So machines like the mechanical user don't require any grid power, but they are still part of the grid power system, if that makes sense. So if I type in user here, I think it does tell us, or it doesn't, but the mechanical user uses 0 out of 0 grid power. But if the grid is overloaded, like it is right now, if we're trying to use more grid power than we have, the mechanical user will stop working. So right now, if I were to go ahead and put some sand into that mechanical user, it's not going to work. And that's because the grid is overloaded. You'll see it stopped there. If I were to drop my wing ring, or just put it away, it should instantly start working, because now you'll see it says that grid power 0 out of 0. Now we have enough grid power for the grid to work, but if I pick this back up, it's going to stop working because the grid is overloaded, thus stopping all of those machines. It's a little awkward. I'm not quite sure why it works like that. You would think that a machine that doesn't require grid power wouldn't care if the grid was overloaded, but if you're running into that issue, that's why. You need to make sure you don't have anything on you that requires grid power. But the plan for today's stream, or one of the things that we're going to do in today's stream, is we're going to set up some grid power so that hopefully we can use our chicken wing ring, and hopefully we can continue to use our users and our miners. All of that stuff basically leads us back to the resonator. The resonator is pretty easy to make. So let's get some redstone. I think it was silicon is what we need to make the alloy ingot here. It was. Now, I think right now we're a little low on silicon, but again, we can grab that fairly easily by running some of the old clay here through the sag mill. Fairly easy stuff. The constantan and the electrum, I think both should be fairly easy. We should have at least some gold. I'm not actually quite sure how we're doing on silver. I know we did get some silver from the nether in the last stream, but how much do we currently have is a good question. The answer appears to be basically, oh no, I put it over here, of course. That's why, chat. It's in the drawer. That makes a lot more sense. So okay, so we actually only need 1 silver and 1 gold. That's actually perfect. That's going to get us the 2 electrum. And then I'm fairly certain that we do have nickel as well, because I think you get nickel as a byproduct from sag milling the iron ore. Now you'll notice again, because the culinary generator here is from Extra Utilities, and the grid is overloaded, this is not working. So temporarily, chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw my chicken wing ring away here, and that should bring everything back online. Like I said, the plan today is to generate grid power, and we're probably going to do that with some water mills. These are pretty easy to make, but they do require stone burnt, which, you guessed it, is made in the resonator. So that's why we're starting with that early on. The resonator itself does also require grid power, and so I think we are going to have to make ourselves a manual mill. This generates grid power, but you have to manually turn it, so you have to stand there and manually crank the generator for it to work. But once we've got enough grid power to make some stone burnt to make a water mill, we can then stop using the manual mill, but we do kind of have to start with that nonetheless. But now, though, we have silicon, we have electrum. Let's go ahead and make some of that silicon redstone alloy, and after that, it's just constantan. And I'm fairly certain we do have both nickel and copper lying around over here. We do indeed, so I'll grab 2 of each. I think that's going to get us 4 constantan. Although, actually, is it like a 3-to-1 recipe? No, it's a 1-to-1. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that should get us 4 constantan. So 4 constantan later, and I think, chat, we basically have everything here. We should have at least 1, potentially multiple magma blocks in our system. I think we are going to have to make another set of ender shards here, because I believe we used the last of them in yesterday's stream. So that should get us 8 more ender shards. We can then craft those, of course, with some more redstone. Like so. I'll make a few of these, because I know we're going to need them later on today. And then, basically, chat, that gets us a resonator. Nice. At that point, the manual mill isn't too difficult. We do need 2 polished stone, which is 4 regular stone even, crafted up. So we'll grab 4 stone, craft that into 4 stone bricks, and then craft those again into 4 polished stone. Other than that, we need that 1 resonating redstone crystal, as well as 4 redstone torches, and 1 redstone, and 1 wood. Okay. And 1 plank. I'm assuming that any plank will work. 1, 2, 3, 4. And boom. Redstone gear. And mill. Nice. So basically, if we throw this down, I guess for now, like right about here, and you can put the manual mill anywhere. Grid power is wireless, so you can do this anywhere in the world. I'm going to put it right here just for ease of use. Essentially, now what we can do is we can turn this polished stone into the stone burnt just by giving it enough grid power. So, like I said, right now we have no grid power, and the power drain is currently 0.04. But if we hold right-click on the manual mill, that is going to generate grid power, which will allow the resonator to work and begin turning that stone burnt, that polished stone even, into stone burnt. And there we go, stone burnt. So, like I said, we probably want to get 4 more stone burnt here to allow us to make the water mill. The water mill produces 16 grid power, I believe, and that should be enough really for now. We can, of course, make more grid power in the future as and when we need it. For example, if we were to upgrade our ring, the ring of the levitating shulker, which I'd like to get at some point fairly soon here, does require 16 grid power all on its own. So if we wanted to use that, we'd have to make a second water mill so that, 1 water mill could be used for the ring, and another water mill could be used for things like our mechanical users and our resonator and all that kind of stuff as well. And then later on down the line, you have things like the angel ring that use even more grid power. So we might have to expand our setup going forward. But for now, 1 water mill, I think should do us, honestly, just fine. So that is done. And at that point, chat, we should basically have everything it takes to make the old water mill here. We do need to get some more redstone torches. Specifically, 8 more redstone torches. But at that point, I think we're basically there. So we'll get 2 more redstone gears. And boom, a water mill. Nice. Now, the way that these work, and our base is getting a little janky here, chat. But essentially, all we need to do is we need to grab our rod of the seas. We can make some water. And then all you have to do is you have to put this down around flowing water. And if memory serves me right, the most optimal setup for the water mill looks something like this. You have the water mill in the middle, like so. You'll see right now it's not generating anything. You then want to put 1 source block of water here. It's now generating 14. And then another one here. And now it's generating 16. So now it's getting flowing water on all 4 sides of the mill, which I believe is allowing it to produce the optimal 16 grid power that it can make. And so now, chat, all of our machines should continue to work, even if we have the chicken wing ring on us. And we should also be able to actually utilize the chicken wing ring as well. So now if we fly up, what we can do is we can hold, and we slowly fall. So you see that bar there? We also have caught the eye of an enderman, but it means that we can fall much slower. It's not crazy good. It does allow us to kind of float a bit more. It allows us to, travel a little farther, I guess. But Ideally, we would like to upgrade that to the shulkering because the shulkering allows us to actually propel ourselves independently of the Rod of the Skies. It kind of acts more like a jetpack in that regard, but now it should be a lot more difficult for us to take fall damage. If we're falling from like the void, if we fall through the void and land, like we do quite regularly in the nether, now as we get close to the ground, we can just hold space and we will kind of gently land like a majestic chicken, and we don't have to worry about taking fall damage, which is nice. Can it go in the bauble slot? I believe it can. Yeah, I believe you can put this in up here. So now it's just on us. We don't have to have it like in our inventory, and it does still work, which is nice. But now that that is done, chat, how are we doing on steel? We have 14 steel. I bring that up because now we need to look at pneumatic craft and we have to look at oil generation. So we could start with pneumatic craft, but we can't really do much in pneumatic craft until we have oil. And the reason for that is that to make these circuit boards here that we need to make our machines, we need oil. So the circuit boards, or the PCBs, these guys here, are made in the pressure chamber with green plastic. And any plastic from pneumatic craft is made using liquid plastic. Liquid plastic is made in the thermopneumatic processing plant with LPG, and LPG is made in a refinery from oil. So you can turn oil into LPG and then into plastic, and then use that plastic to make those circuit boards. So if we want to get oil, we have to complete this quest here, Black Gold. In order to produce plastic for PCBs, you have to get some oil first. Building a pump jack should help you out. So the pump jack is a fairly big multi-block structure from immersive engineering. Now, we could make the pump jack projector. This will kind of give us a visualization of what it looks like, but I don't know if that is strictly necessary. I think we can do this kind of just as easily with the manual. Now, I might have to make a new book because I don't think we actually have the manual from immersive engineering yet. No, it doesn't look like we do. That is fine. If we grab 1 rotten flesh, that'll get us a leather in the mana pool. And then if we grab a little bit of sugarcane, we should be able to make a book fairly easily. Boom, and boom, and there we go. So if we take a look in here, chat, I believe that we are looking for oil processing and pump jack. So this is the multi-block that we're after. If we hover over the question mark here, you can see that we need 11 steel scaffolding, 6 treated wooden fences, 4 fluid pipes, 1 redstone engineering block, 2 light engineering blocks, 2 heavy engineering blocks, 2 blocks of steel, and 4 sheet metal. Okay, let me unbookmark some stuff over here. So steel scaffolding is fairly easy to make. It's 3 steel plus some steel rods. Steel rods, you guessed it, are made with yet more steel. That gets us 6 steel scaffolding. We only need 11, so we need 2 lots of that, I guess. We needed, I think, basically all of the engineering blocks, that being redstone, light, and heavy. These are all fairly easy. The redstone one is iron, copper, and redstone. The light one is iron, copper, and more iron and more copper. And then the heavy one is steel, pistons, electrum, steel, and copper. So again, fairly easy stuff. What else did we need here, chat? We also needed 2 blocks of steel, which of course in and of itself is 18 steel. 4 sheet metal. Steel, sheet metal. This is a little cheaper than blocks of steel. You get 4 sheet metal from 4 steel plates. We can of course make those now in our smeltery. So getting those really shouldn't be too bad. And then other than that, we just need 4 fluid pipes, which I'm fairly certain are just iron, and 6 treated wooden fences. So let me bookmark fluid pipes. Yeah, these are just iron plates, which I think if we wanted to, we could make with our little small plate press here. And then finally, the treated wooden planks, which are finally going to give us a reason to use some of that creosote that we've been storing from our coke oven. And again, this is probably one of, if not the easiest part of the whole setup here. We should have, I believe, a tank or 2 of creosote oil. And essentially, chat, all we have to do here is grab our bucket and then craft that with some planks. That gets us creosote. We can then, of course, craft that into sticks and then craft that up into fences. And I'm fairly certain that that might be it. I think we need more than 3, right? Did it say we needed 4? 6. That's actually perfect. And boom. Nice. All right. I think we'll start by making some of the things that don't require steel while we wait for our iron to kind of build up. So one of the easiest parts here, by far, is going to be these iron pipes. So 1 block of iron over here, like so. We do want to make sure that we have a lever down for that, actually, and we should definitely put that above the piston, just so it doesn't pop off when we use it. Boom. That gets us 4, and that is actually all we need, right? Oh, that gets us sheet metal. How many do I need? Oh, I need 6. So we do need 1 more for that. It might, honestly, chat. Yeah, no, okay, so we can do this using the Kaplunk machine here like we have done, but it is probably a lot more economical to run things through the smeltery, because that's going to allow us to get, 1 plate per ingot as opposed to 4 plates per 9 ingots, which is definitely a worse result there. The one downside, of course, to the smeltery is that it does take a little while to process the iron. Like, it takes a while to smelt it up. But once we have 6 iron plates, Kapow, that's going to get us the 8 fluid pipes, and at that point, I think the only item left that doesn't require steel is the redstone engineering block, which requires 4 redstone, 4 redstone, 4 iron, and 1 copper. Nice, and we do get 2. We only need 1 for now, but that is fine. So, now, chat, we have to actually start using our steel. We have 35. In the time it took us to make all the other stuff, we managed to get 2 more, so we have 37. Let's see how close we can get. So, right out of the gate, let's make some sticks. I'm fairly certain that we need 4. Oh, no, we need 6 sticks. Okay, so we are going to have to use a fair bit of steel here for 6. Perfect. At that point, we can then go ahead and make all of the scaffolding that we need. Good stuff. The light engineering block is an interesting one because much like the heavy engineering block, it does require the steel or iron mechanical components, and the mechanical components can be more efficiently made if you have an engineer's workbench with the engineer's blueprint for components, which isn't too difficult. It does require aluminum, though, which as of right now, I actually don't think we have. Aluminum is in the nether, really? Are you sure? I don't see any aluminum ore here. Oh, no, maybe I do. Ah, there is. Okay. In that case, chat, given that we have to wait for the steel either way, let's go take a quick peek in the nether and see if we can't find some aluminum. I'm hopeful that we kind of already have some just kind of lying around. Yeah, it's kind of like a pitch black ore, so it should be fairly easy to see. I know we've seen some, oh gosh, what? Where's my, oh no, okay, so we might run into a slight issue here, chat. And that slight issue is that our grid power only works whilst it's loaded. So right now, the watermill here works while we're here because we're here, but as soon as we leave, the whole area unloads, like the chunk unloads, and the grid power is then not going to work. So if we want grid power in the nether, it might not be a terrible idea to get like a fire mill and stick that down onto like a piece of netherrack, or next to a piece of netherrack. You put it down next to fire, I believe. Operates when placed over fire. Yeah, so I think if we crafted one of these and go stick it in the nether, that should also give us nether grid power as well. All right, so 6 stone burnt later, and we should at that point, chat, be able to make our fire mill fairly easily. We do need some nether fence, but we do have, thankfully, a good amount of nether brick lying around, so making that is nice and easy. And then at that point, it's once again just some more redstone torches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 1 wooden plank. Boom. 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 And nice. So basically, if we put down a piece of netherrack like so, we'll then do, I guess, like, for now, this and that. That gets us the fire mill down. We'll then get rid of the wooden plank. And then if we light the netherrack on fire, that should generate some grid power. Not a ton, it's generating 4. I actually haven't used the fire mill a ton. Maybe if you put, like, fire down on all 4 sides, you know, maybe have, like, the netherrack up 1 by 1 block and have fire, like, here, 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 and here, then it might generate more. For now, though, thankfully, we only need the 1, so we should now be able to kind of slowly but surely fall with our chicken wing ring. Yeah, nice. So now, if we once again kind of jump down, we can now gently fall, and we're looking, I believe, for those kind of stalagmites or stalactites that come down from the roof, which I'm being told are aluminum. So let's go give that a check, shall we? This is indeed aluminum. Nice. All right. So that should make getting the engineer's blueprint fairly easy here, chat. Let's do a quick /home. Can we run this through the squeezer is always my first question. Unfortunately, it looks like the answer to that question is no, so we are going to have to run it through the old sag mill, which is, of course, a little slower, but that is fine. Let me go ahead and bookmark the engineer's workbench It's pretty easy stuff. It does require some treated planks, which thankfully we have, as well as a treated fence, which also thankfully we have, as well as a crafting table, which you guessed it, thankfully we have. Good stuff. And boom, that's that done. We then need the engineer's blueprint for components, which is 3 lapis, 3 paper, 1 iron, 1 aluminum, and 1 copper. So 1 iron. Copper we are actually out of, but we do have 1 on our person. That's all good. The aluminum, of course, is being smelted. 3 lapis. 1, 2, 3. And then paper-wise, we can, of course, once again head over to our wonderful friend, the Sned. And we're good to go. A little bit of aluminum later, and we should now, chat, I think, have everything that it takes to craft up the components blueprint. We do indeed. So this simply just goes into the workbench, and I guess for now we'll put the workbench down, I guess just maybe like right here, and then we can put the blueprint in over there, and so now we can make these items here using fewer resources, whereas previously, if we wanted to make a component, we'd need 4 iron plates and 1 copper. In the workbench, it is 2 iron plates and 1 copper, so we save 50% on iron every single time we make it, and that's especially useful when it comes to the steel version, because now instead of requiring 4 steel plates, we only need 2, which cuts down the amount of steel we need by 50% for every component we make going forward, which is very nice indeed. So 11 more might get us pretty close, chat, to where we need to be. We do, of course, still need to craft up 2 blocks of steel, which is going to take a good chunk of that steel away. But let me start on bookmarking here. So we have the steel scaffolding, we have the fluid pipes, we've got the redstone engineering block, the steel sheet metal. I think we need more than 4, although let me confirm that. No, we need 4. Okay, so we need 4 plates for the steel sheet metal. So let's go and get 4 plates cooking up over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And then we also need plates for the heavy engineering block. So we need 2 steel components, and to make that, we need 4 more steel plates. So again, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Put those in there. That should get us the 8 steel plates required for both of those. And I think at that point, chat, we're basically done. I think we have, at that point, everything that requires steel. All right. So once all of the plates are done, if we head on back through here, what we can do is we can, I guess, smelt up some more copper, because I think we are going to need some, and we're currently all out. We do have quite a lot of copper ore. It's just not being processed. I assume I can run this through the squeezer. I can indeed. Fantastic. Let's get this iron smelting up over there. Let's get some copper smelting up over in here. Beautiful. Because we need the copper, of course, for the blueprints that we're about to make. Each one of these, I believe, does require copper. I guess while we wait for that, let's also go and grab 1 gold and 1 silver so we can make 1 more electrum. 1 silver and 1 gold. Throw both of those into the old alloy smelter. And I think at that point, chat, we're basically good to go. It took a minute, but I think we're going to have pretty much everything that we need in order to make this this pumpjack here. Yeah, we'll take these copper ingots over in the old workbench. We'll throw in some iron plates and copper. That's going to get us the 2 iron mechanical components. Fantastic. At that point, we just need copper and iron to make the light engineering block. And then our electrum should be done. It is indeed. And if we again take some copper and the steel plates over to here, boom and boom, that's going to get us the 2 steel mechanical components. And like I said, at that point, we just need 2 pistons for the heavy engineering block, 4 steel, and we're good to go. And we have the 4 steel on our person, chat, so I think we are good to go. And there we go. We have everything we need. I'm pretty sure that is all of the stuff. It is. Nice. So we now have, chat, everything it takes to make the pumpjack. All we have to do is actually put it all together and then right-click on it with the engineer's hammer. So before we build the pumpjack, it might not be a bad idea to build the core sample drill. This is a machine that lets you see if there is oil available in any given chunk, which is definitely going to be useful, because what we don't want to do is build the whole pumpjack and then find out that there's no oil anywhere around. And the core sample drill doesn't look too difficult. We need some steel fences, which is more steel. We need steel scaffolding, which you guessed it, is more steel. And then we need 2 more light engineering blocks, which is just copper and iron. So we could, of course, use the scaffolding that we already have. And I probably will here just to save us some time. So yeah, the core sample drill, really not too difficult. Now, we do have to power this thing. And so once again, I will temporarily steal the old culinary generator here. And also make sure that we have at least 64 apples on us. So I think I'm probably going to try and put the pump jack like right here. So if we put down the core sample drill, you can kind of see right now the area that it covers, which I believe is one chunk. If we throw that down and we give it some power, what we should be able to do is we should be able to right click. It's going to then do its thing. It's going to send like a drill down. And then it's going to bring that drill back up. And once it is done, you should be able to right click and get a core sample. So as you can see here, we have got 7.135 million millibuckets of oil in this chunk here. So it was not necessary to make this. We could have just put down the pump jack, but there was always the chance that there was no oil here. Thankfully, there is oil here. So all we have to do now is actually build the oil jack and provide it with power, and we should be able to start pumping oil out of the ground. So that's basically the core sample drill's job done. So now that we have all of the required blocks again, let's take another look in the engineer's manual here. So I believe we can hit pause and then cycle through the layers here. So the bottom layer is mostly scaffolding with some pipe and some light engineering blocks. So let's get those down. So it's light engineering block. And then it was like scaffolding, I believe like this. Let me check that again though. I could be mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. So yeah, this looks right. It's like that and like that. I think that's the bottom level taken care of. Level 2 is redstone, heavy, and light engineering block. So redstone, heavy, and light with treated fences, I believe here and here. Following that, layer 3 is more fences, our first block of steel, and another heavy engineering block. So heavy, more fences, and then our first block of steel, which I think does, it's like floating, so it's like right there. Get rid of that one. And then finally, chat, I believe the top layer is another block of steel, more fences, and then the sheet metal. So it's actually not that bad of a multi-block, all things considered. I have indeed built this one too far forward. We need this back here, and then the steel blocks here and here. That now looks correct, and so now if we right-click on that, we get the pump jack. Nice. So I believe the way that this works is that we can input power through here. There's a little port there. You could run cabling to it. For now, we're just going to put the culinary generator down right about there. This bit right here is for like a redstone signal, so you can put a lever there to turn it on and off. And here and here is where we can actually extract oil. So if we quickly go and grab, first of all, some apples, because we are pretty low on hunger, but if we also go and grab a tank, what we should be able to do, and I don't know what I'm going to do tank-wise. We've got so many like useless tanks. Did we not make one last stream? We did. Let me, chat, delete some of this excess blood here so we can reuse this tank. And by delete the excess blood, I essentially just mean quickly steal one of these transfer nodes and then do something like this to delete the blood in it. Perfect. All right, so once that tank is empty, what we should be able to do is put this down right about there. And then now, if we provide this with power, it should very, very slowly begin producing oil. So the reason that it's so very slow and looks like it's kind of broken, like it's going, it's moving like one frame at a time through its animation, the reason for that is that this machine requires 1,000 redstone flux per tick in order to run it at full speed, and we are currently providing it with about 40 redstone flux per tick, which is why it's very, very slowly but surely producing the fuel here. Now, we can speed this up by adding some speed upgrades to our culinary generator. That is going to mean that it starts eating through the redstone faster, but at the same time, it's also going to mean that we actually start to get oil a little bit faster as well. So you can have up to 4 regular speed upgrades in any given machine there. You'll see it says max upgrades 4. There are higher tier upgrades that can have up to 16 or 64 in them. However, these ones do get a little expensive. I think it might not be too difficult actually for us, chat, to make some of the second tier though, the magical tier, which are faster and you can put more of them in. These require the regular speed upgrades with enchanted ingots, which you can make in the enchanter with gold and lapis, and then magical apples, which again are made in the enchanter with apples and lapis. Both of those seem fairly easy to do, but I think we'll start somewhat simpler, and we'll see if we can't make, for now, 8 golden pressure plates. We're going to put, 4 golden pressure plates. We'll put those in the resonator. That's going to allow us to make 4 upgrade bases, and essentially, once we have those, we can craft them up with blocks of redstone and gold ingots, and that should get us some speed upgrades, which is going to make our generator just that little bit faster. I believe with 4 regular speed upgrades, the culinary generator goes from producing about 40 redstone flux per tick to producing about 160 redstone flux per tick, which is still not crazy, and is still only about 1/10 of what we actually need in order to run the pumpjack at its maximum speed. But for the time being, I don't think we're really going to need, hundreds of millibuckets or hundreds of buckets worth of oil. So we put that in. You'll see it's now eating that apple a little bit faster, and you'll see hopefully that this guy is running a little bit quicker as well, and we should see the oil coming in faster as well. Yeah, nice. So we've currently got 1.7, 1.8, closing in on 2 buckets worth of oil. Slowly but surely, over time, that should generate enough oil to fill this tank. While we wait for that to finish its stuff, we need to look forward at what we're actually going to do with that oil. So I'm actually not quite sure why the advancement has not been made there. Maybe I actually have to get a bucket of oil. Let me see if that's the requirement. It is. Okay, cool. So now we have to make this guy. We need to craft a refinery. It says efficiency at its finest. Simply burning your oil is a huge waste. Besides, you can separate other substances away from oil in order to make use of them. So as mentioned earlier, what we can do now is we can run this oil through a refinery. That's going to get us diesel and LPG. What we get actually depends on how many refineries we make. If you make 2 refineries, which is the minimum, you get diesel and LPG. If you make 3, you get diesel, kerosene and LPG, and if you make 4, you get diesel, kerosene, gasoline, and LPG. And if you really wanted to be as efficient as possible, you would have to, what you could do is you can turn the kerosene into gasoline via the thermopneumatic processing plant, and then you can turn the gasoline into LPG, because LPG is really what we're after here, and the LPG is what is used to make plastic, which we're then going to use to make, plastic sheets that are then going to allow us to actually work with pneumaticraft. For now, though, we're probably going to start by just making 2 refineries, and thus getting diesel and LPG, and then turning that LPG into plastic, and then using that in the plastic mixer to actually make plastic. Now, to do that, we do need 2 diamonds, which I think, as of right now, we might not have. Oh, we do. Okay, perfect. So in that case then, chat, that becomes a lot easier. We do need 6 compressed steel. There is a quest right here called The Pressure is On. Blowing up steel with TNT will compress them into denser materials, which is just suitable for making PCBs. Obtained compressed steel ingots. So compressed steel ingots are made by blowing up regular steel ingots. We have to put them down, blow it up, and we should get compressed steel. You'll see there is an average material loss rate there, which is a little disheartening. It means that we occasionally will lose some steel, but that's fine. So let's take all 9 steel that we have here. We're going to need more because we need, 12? Yeah, we need 12 compressed steel, and if there's a 20% loss chance, we probably want to have, at least 14, 15 steel before we try blowing it up, just in case. While we wait for more steel to come in, though, let's see if we don't have what it takes to make some TNT. I'm fairly certain that we should, because I'm fairly certain we can make gunpowder using the mana pool. We can. Putting flint into the mana pool with the alchemy catalyst will get us gunpowder, and so all we really need to do then, chat, is grab some cobblestone, run that through the old squeezer. That should get us some gravel. And then if we run that gravel through the squeezer again, we actually get 2 flint from every single gravel, which is real nice. And we also have a chance of getting flint from the first pass through here. We actually don't need that much flint. We only need 5 to get us the first bit of TNT. And I'm kind of hoping, chat, that we only need the 1 bit of TNT today, but we'll see how it goes. If we lose too much, if the odds are not on our side and we lose too much of our steel, then we could end up having to make more, but I'm hopeful that this 1 piece of TNT might just do the trick. All right, how are we doing on steel? We've got 1 more. Which is not great. All right, so we got 12 steel. We do need 12 compressed steel. I'm going to take a risk here, chat. I'm going to hope that we get all 12 compressed steel. I think the odds of that happening are very low. A 20% destruction chance means that you'd lose approximately 1 in 5. So we'd expect to really only get 10 of these back, maybe 9, depending on how lucky we get. But I'm going to hope that the TNT gods are on our side here, and that we actually get all 12 compressed steel. I think it's very unlikely, but we'll give it a go. So we'll put down the TNT, we'll throw down the steel, we'll give that a quick bit of redstone, and hopefully... Yeah, we got 10, which is perfectly within the, standard deviation of what we'd expect to get there. You need at least 32 compressed steel for the initial setup. Oofed. Okay, so I'm being told by chat that we need quite a bit of compressed steel. Let's check that out. So we need 2 refineries. Each refinery needs 6 compressed steel. So we need 12 compressed steel for the 2 refineries there. On top of that, we also, and I will bookmark that, actually. On top of the refinery, we need the thermopneumatic processing plant, which in and of itself requires 5 compressed steel. So right now that means we need 17. From there, we need to make the plastic mixer, this guy here, which again requires 5 more. So that means we need, what, 23? 22 compressed steel? Yes, I think 22 is what we need if we're going to make all of these. That's 2 refineries, 1 thermopneumatic processing plant, and then 1 plastic mixer. On top of that, we do also have to make a pressurized reaction chamber, which is made up of pressurized reaction wall. You need, I think, 27 or 26 of these in total, thereabouts. Maybe 24 you can get away with, actually, now that I think about it. But each one of these does also require compressed steel, so we need yet more for that. And then I'm also fairly certain that we need at least 1 pressure chamber valve, which, you guessed it, requires more compressed steel ingots. So we need a lot of steel, chat. Like, a lot of steel. So I think what I'm going to do, and we are now out of iron in there, I think what I am going to do is I'm going to grab some iron, the last 50 that we have. I'm going to throw that into the blast furnace, chat. And I'm going to pivot over to trying to get the shulker ring, I think. So the shulker ring up here, because now we just have to wait, by the way, for more steel to come in. Once we have enough steel, we can blow it up and we can start making all this stuff. But right now we just have to wait for the blast furnace to kind of do its thing. The shulker ring, though, is not too difficult to get. The hardest part about it for us is going to be the cursed lasso. Like, the dye is easy enough. The ender pearl, super easy. Diamonds we can go get. The chicken wing ring we have. And the shulker inside of the cursed lasso is also easy enough. We can get those, fairly quickly. The hard part is getting the drop of evil. The drop of evil is a rare drop chance from wither skeletons. And so I think what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to head back over through to the nether and see if we can't find some wither skeletons to fight. We do have looting 3 on our sword. We also do still have 1 modifier remaining, chat, and so I am kind of contemplating throwing some nether quartz on there. How much do we have? We got 22. Now, one thing I did actually notice, chat, between streams as well, is that we can duplicate our nether quartz using the conjuration catalyst. You can turn 1 nether quartz into 2 with a tiny little bit of mana. And this thing isn't really too difficult to make. It requires the alchemy catalyst, as well as 4 living rock, 1 pixie dust, and then 3 elementium. The pixie dust is just a mana pearl, and the elementium is just mana steel. So the hardest part, I was going to say, would be the brewing stands, but then again, we've got access to blaze rods now, right? So getting another brewing stand really shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so that should be another alchemy catalyst, and then, like I said, upgrading that to the conjures catalyst requires 4 living rock, which we now have, 3 elementium, and 1 pixie dust. So we have the mana pearl for the pixie dust. We do need some iron for the mana steel and the elementium. Thankfully, we did start smelting some up over here, so I don't have to take any out of the blast furnace. Let's go, and I think we need 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That should get us 3 elementium ingots. It does indeed. I should probably put a crafting table down out here, chat, because occasionally it would be nice to just be able to craft out and about. But for now, we also need the pixie dust, of course. And then if we combine all of those together, chat, we should get ourselves a conjures catalyst. Nice. So if we, once again, grab our nether quartz, and if we put this underneath one of our free mana pools, I think I'm going to put it down under this one, simply because it's the fullest. Like that. What we should be able to do, chat, is we should be able to basically duplicate our nether quartz here. So if we drop this in, Look at that. It uses a very, very small amount and allows us to essentially duplicate our nether quartz. Not that the nether quartz is really that difficult to come by, but now if we want to, really upgrade our sword with damage, or really upgrade any other, future tool with damage, we can do so fairly easily by just duplicating things with that catalyst there. It can't duplicate everything, of course, but it can duplicate a few things here. If we look at the recipes, we can duplicate redstone, which is probably going to come in useful. Does cost a little bit more than nether quartz, but that's fine. Coal could be useful. We don't actually have that much real coal because we're not mining for it. So if you ever need real coal for anything and not just charcoal or general fuel, we could use that. Snowballs, netherrack, soul sand, gravel, some of these things a little less useful. The gravel could be useful if we want to save time. Glowstone could also be useful as well. But yeah, pretty nifty little way to duplicate things if we want to do things quickly. For now, though, let's see if we can't get this kind of filled up here. It only takes 72, so we actually don't need that much, but that should bump up our attack damage quite nicely and hopefully make it a little easier for us to one-hit kill things. Now, I am being told by the Twitch chat and by the quest down here that wither skeletons occasionally spawn on lava stones in the nether, but lava stone is not easy to find. Kill a wither skeleton. So, if we head on through, let's take a quick peek around and see if we don't have any exposed lava stone. I don't think that I see any so far. I am being told as well, and also my chicken wing ring is not working. I am told I have to take it out and put it back in sometimes. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that's not, that seems like a bug. Like occasionally when moving through the dimension, it doesn't work. There we go. But, yeah, I've not seen any. But I am also told by the Twitch chat that we can craft the lava stone, that being these ones here from Chisel, and use those to spawn wither skeletons. Which is something we might try. Because looking around here, I don't see really any lava stone. So in theory, what we should be able to do is throw down some of this lava stone to spawn wither skeletons. Ah, here we go, chat. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully... Oh, chat, look at that. First try. I guess the looting 3 is really helping here, but we actually got 2 drops of evil very quickly there, which is very nice indeed, and does mean that we should be able to upgrade our lasso nice and easily. One thing I will do before we continue, chat, because it's going to drive me insane if I don't, is I will make another crafting station to fill in the hole in the floor there. Perfect. And then at that point, I believe that our lasso is in one of these chests. It could possibly be in... Oh, yeah, there it is. Perfect. So if we go boom and boom, that gets us the cursed lasso. And then again, if we look at the shulker ring, which I'll bookmark here. What else do we need? We need the chicken wing ring. We need 4 purple pigment or 4 purple floor powder, 1 ender pearl and 2 diamonds. So we do have 2 diamonds. I'll take those. Purple pigment wise, we actually do not have that much purple or that many purple petals. However, we can, of course, shear that into existence for us. So shear wise, I think my shear's in here. And then, yeah, we should be able to get that, get more purple petals going nice and easily. Perfect. We'll put those back and grab just the 4 we need. We'll then grab our pestle and mortar. Make sure to put some of the other stuff back that we're not actively using. And then you and you. That's the floor powder. We've got the ender pearl. We've got the diamond. We do need to go and grab a shulker. But I think at that point, we're basically good. We also have the chicken wing ring. Yeah, it's not going to actually work because we do need the shulker. But chat, that should not be a problem. We do have an end city right next to us. And so, and I believe there is at least 1 shulker left. There was also like a weird shulker kind of floating around nearby last time. But I'm fairly certain that, especially actually, we should probably grab the chicken wing ring. Because one of the benefits of the chicken wing ring is that it allows us to kind of utilize our Rod of the Skies twice. Because we can kind of just slowly float while we wait for the Rod of the Skies to complete its cooldown. Okay, so I think he's low enough. He's not. We need reduce to 3 hearts. Okay. There we go. All right, chat. We've done it. It took a minute, and we didn't have to be in the water for it, but we have the shulker. You have to take it down to 3 hearts, but we have it. And so finally, chat. Boom. 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 Nice. So now we have the jet propulsion at our fingertips. We are a little low now on grid power. You'll see right now we've got 20 out of 16. So we actually don't have enough grid power for this to work, which does mean, chat, that if we actually want to utilize the ring here, we are going to have to make another watermill, which is completely fine. I think I did make some more polished stone. I think we have 2 more. Stoneburnt, we do indeed. Perfect. So if we quickly turn this into stoneburnt and then craft up another watermill, we should have 32 grid power, which is more than the 20 that we currently need. And at that point, we should be able to use our shulker ring, which is essentially kind of like a jetpack. So one more watermill later. And of course, we're going to do the exact same thing we did earlier. We don't want to put these right next to each other, actually. We want to do it like 1 block away. Like so. Exact same idea. Watermill, water, and water. Now we should have 32 grid power. We do indeed. And so now, chat, if we stick this in our bobble slot, we can actually raise ourselves up. So we actually have the ability to rise. Instead of just kind of falling slowly, we can actually use it as a jetpack to get up to certain levels and down from certain levels. We can, of course, still use it, kind of like the chicken wing ring. You know, if we're about to hit the ground, we can still, you know, hit space and kind of slowly fall down, which is nice. But we can also use it to kind of slowly rise up as well, if we want to. And also, chat, I should very quickly, before the server restarts here, finish up the thing that I started right at the beginning of the stream and then did not finish. And that is, we need to hook up the charcoal. Boom. That gets us 64 more pipes. And what we can do now is we can... I thought I did this. Honestly, I'd forgotten that I'd not done this. But if we do something like that, that should connect all that up. Again, I am going to disconnect this pipe here, even though I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think any charcoal is going to try going there. But yeah, that should now hopefully continue to keep charcoal in there. Hopefully, chat, when we come back for the next stream, we should have a decent amount of steel, hopefully enough to get all of the compressed steel that we need to start out with Pneumaticraft. Once we have Pneumaticraft actually fully set up, or at least the beginnings of Pneumaticraft set up, I guess, with the plastic generation, we should then be able to start looking at getting better machines, getting into Applied Logistics 2, and really at that point, kind of looking towards, you know, the end of this questline here, looking at getting the rainbow generator, maybe looking at getting into some more deep mob learning. One thing we really desperately do need to look at, chat, in the coming streams is power, because right now, as you've noticed with the culinary generator, it's not that fast. The good news is that once we have, you know, the plastic set up, and once we have the ability to more easily make these industrial machine chassis, making more generators should become easier for us, because right now, if we want to make generators, we have to do it with the simple machine chassis, which requires those unstable ingots, which needs a lot of diamonds and also a lot of risk involved in not blowing them up when you try and craft. Once we have the ability to make the industrial chassis, which is done in the pressure chamber with the printed circuit boards that hopefully we're going to make next time, then we can start making more of these machine blocks much more safely and with much fewer diamonds, and hopefully we can start looking at getting a lot more power. We could even look at getting like some of the big multi-block power generators from immersive engineering as well, which could be useful. But for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the levitated portion of today's stream there.